One thing which the government has been telling us that we always have to do is to follow the science. And the science, they say, is very clear because we've been working on models from Imperial College and other places. Models tell us exactly how the system is going to work, what's going to happen over the next few weeks or months or even a year. And the models tell us that come Freedom Day, COVID Freedom Day that is, when masks are off and social distancing is abandoned, the models tell us that 100,000 cases a day will be recorded. Well, it hasn't happened. And it doesn't surprise me at all, because one thing I know about models is they're not science. Models are only as good as the data that you put into them, or rather, the assumptions that you make whenever you set your models up. I've made models myself. It's very simple and straightforward. You set up an algorithm and you have a number of inputs into it, and the results that you get out are only as good as the inputs that you put in. In fact, the inputs that you put in determine almost wholly and completely the outputs that you get out. In other words, you can get out pretty well anything you want, provided you put in the appropriate inputs. If you assume that the cases will massively increase over a period of time because of the non-wearing of masks, then that will come out at the end of the day. It's hardly a scientific theory, and it's certainly not scientific fact. What you find here is people are playing with, well, I suppose they're intelligent toys. But really what you have to learn from the idea of models is that rather than being science, they're pure speculation. They're no better than being able to guess what the stock market is going to be in a year's time. And no one's been able to do that. Why? Because it all depends upon what you put in. And what you put in is ignorance and guesswork and approximation and whatever you think you might want to get out at the other end. Unfortunately, most of the models have been used for political decision making, and that means they become not scientific models even, but political models. In other words, if you want to justify what you're going to do, if you want to justify the policy that you're going to take, you can get your model to tell you that if we don't do it, this will be the result. It's unfortunately been the case that I think all of the models from Imperial College have shown to be faulty. All the guesswork has proved to be inaccurate, and that's going back many years, back to the days of swine flu when they got that so incredibly wrong, millions out. And it's no different today. But if we were to follow the science properly, we wouldn't be following models. We'd be following facts and data, not stuff you make up to put into the thing, but real data that you get out of it. And then you'd be able to make proper decisions based upon the science. I wish we did follow the science, but unfortunately we're following the politics. And that's the problem with COVID.